right. Hello, beautiful creatures. We're just waiting for Facebook to load here. Awesome. Hey, Brandon, thanks for being here. All right, everybody. It's so wonderful to be here with you today. If you don't know me, my name is Rachel Leah Gerson. I am the owner-operator here at Doorway to Self LLC, where I combine counseling techniques with psychic tools to help people understand the world of mental health from a more holistic lens. So what I do here every month, as many of you know who come time and time again, and I'm so grateful to you. This family that's been created has just been blowing my mind. I answer questions about the psychic world and help to kind of put things into a different perspective, help you guys to really understand what's going on with you. So while we are waiting for more people to hop on, I'm just going to go ahead and start answering some of the anonymous questions that have rolled in. If you want to ask questions anonymously, the time for that has closed. It closes about an hour beforehand every single time that I do this, which is once a month. But yeah, if you want to submit an anonymous question for next month, you're more than welcome to do that. You can do that to doorwaytoself@gmail.com, or you can DM me here on Instagram at doorwaytoself, or on Facebook on the Doorway to Self page. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I also just want to say thank you so much to all of you for your grace in my rescheduling of this. I really appreciate that. And I also actually, yeah, before I dive into the anonymous stuff, I just want to say thank you so much. And I wrote this in my email already, but thank you for those of you who gave me feedback on that email that I sent out canceling the last Q&A, which was originally going to be on Friday the 13th. I canceled it because my menstrual flow was so I mean, the only way to explain it is just vivid. I was just like doing some major interdimensional traveling. There was no way I was going to be able to hold space for something like this in that time. And I was really guided to be deep in meditation and working with clients at that time. So I just really appreciate all of your respect and your grace around that. Hey, Tahila, thanks for being here. So yeah, good morning to you too. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the anonymous questions that came in. I did find it really interesting. I had 2 questions this month about psychic smell that came in, which was interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in right to that. If you have any questions in the meantime, so long as they are obviously like appropriate and relevant to the psychic world, feel free to pop them in the comment box here on Instagram or on Facebook. If you see me looking back and forth, it's because I am looking back and forth between screens. I do also want to let you guys know, just to be completely transparent here, my partner is here this morning and he is sitting right behind the screen watching me. So if you hear any noises in the background or anything, that's what's happening. And I'm just really grateful to have his energy here helping to hold space this morning. So yeah, very grateful for that. All right, so we're gonna jump in here. All right, I have a bad energy scent on me, and everyone else will start to smell it as well because I'm telepathically making them smell it from me, thinking about smelling me 24/7 at times, or I think that's how it's happening. I was wondering if you knew how I could block that energy out so I could live a better life. It is coming from a memory from a time where I smelled that way, maybe. I don't know, question mark. Anyways, if you could help me in any way, that would be greatly appreciated. So I asked this person how they knew that, oh my gosh, Tahila, that's so funny. Tahila's like, you're cheating on me. um, oh, I don't know. Sorry, I just got a notification that my storage was full. This is what happens on my phone all the time. It's really like a chronic thing. Anywho, so where was I? Yes. So I asked this person how they knew that this was a a psychic thing. And they said that they have experienced it in telepathy and psychic attacks. The smell will only hit the side of your nose, and then it will hit both nostrils. It's stronger. You can feel it mentally. Hard to explain. So, hey Nicole, hey Jenny, thanks for being here. So yeah, this is really interesting. So firstly, I want to highlight this person knows how the energy is hitting their nose, which is really cool. I really love that this person has parceled out how the energy is interacting with them, that they know that it hits one side and then the other, and that the other one is stronger. I also appreciate that they say mentally it's hard to explain, because I feel like that's the way that the psychic world works. Is that it is a lot of the time there is no way to put it into words, which is why sometimes you hear me struggling to come up with words during these Q&As when I'm trying to explain things. Is because there sometimes aren't any words to explain the energy, and that's also why I do these events, to try and make that a little bit easier to put words to. So here's what I'm going to say about this question is I find it to be really curious that everyone else is smelling it. And this is the part that made me ask them, how do you know that this is a psychic thing that you're experiencing? Because not everybody has clairessence or clairolfaction. It's the same thing, synonym for the same word. Psychic scent. Yeah, not everybody has that. So it's very curious to me that everybody would be smelling it. That sounds like it would be more of a physical thing, that like maybe there is actually a smell that is physically there. That said, it's possible that, and actually probable, that it's happening simultaneously, where you are both smelling it physically and energetically, and that's why this person is having the experience where it's hitting one nostril and then the other. So it might be even that, like, perhaps they're not even smelling the physical smell, but they're smelling the energetic smell, and then everybody around them is smelling the physical smell, which is kind of creating this weird thing that's happening where they're like, but I don't smell like this, but maybe you do. I don't know. So this is a really interesting question. It's not something I've ever gotten before, anything like this. So I appreciate this person for asking this and for being vulnerable in this way, and I really hope that this is helpful to you. The other thing I want to highlight here is this part where you say this, where this person says it is coming from a memory from a time where I smelled that way, maybe. So that to me immediately raises a red flag of this might be a past life thing. So maybe checking into that, maybe doing some past life regression work or some Akashic reading work. I know Jenny Bremer is watching this right now. She's an incredible Akashic readings practitioner who is, I know I'm calling you out right now, my love. I love you. I love you so much. Yeah, trying to send people her way right now too, because I know she's just starting her practice and kind of getting her feet wet again. So after a while of like not. So definitely recommend doing that. Yeah, so it could be stemming from that, and there are ways to clear that as well. You can cut cords to past lives, you can do energy clearings for past lives, you can just acknowledge it and see that it's a thing and then ask for it to be removed. I mean, there are many different ways that we can approach this, so that is what I would suggest for that, and I hope that that's helpful. I'm going to just go ahead and check on Facebook to make sure that there aren't any comments that are coming in. This is always so difficult on Facebook. I don't really like, it's so hard to see if people have commented on here or not. So if you have, please know that I'm not ignoring you. I just literally don't see your comment. Okay. Taking a moment just to breathe and clear. Thank you to those of you who did that with me. Thank you to yourself for doing that. I felt like a lot of you really needed to take a moment to do that just now, so I appreciate that. Okay, so let's dive into this second question. around psychic smell that came in. This one's quite a bit longer, and I debated not telling the whole story, but y'all know how I feel about stories, and y'all know that I believe we learn from stories more than most things, actually. And so I think reading this person's story is going to be really pivotal for some of you. So I'm going to go ahead and read it. And yeah, I've had this weird thing for as long as I can remember, that I can smell people or their energies through their screens, as in TVs or phones or laptops. I can go through my phone on social media, and every once in a while I will come across a total stranger and I get a strong smell from them. It is never really the same smell, but I do notice it is a good smell when they seem like a kind, good soul, and a bad smell when they seem like a rude and wretched soul. I love that wording, it's so great. Sometimes the bad smell comes through so strongly I have to hold my breath because it smells so bad to breathe it in. I put my theory of me possibly having a psychic ability to the test one day when I was scrolling through social media, when I smelled an overwhelmingly good smell, and it was a familiar smell but not from anywhere specific, and was definitely not the smell of my house, and decided to go to their page to see if I could still smell it throughout me watching her content, and sure enough I could. But as soon as I swiped past her page, the smell instantly went away, and when I swiped back to her page, I was able to smell the same smell again. So I took a deep breath in, and halfway through me inhaling, I swiped away from her page and instantaneously could not smell the smell. I feel this is a psychic ability, but I'm not sure though, because I have only been able to smell people's energies through their screens, at least knowingly. I wanted to know if this did count as clairolfaction. Clairolfaction, by the way, is another name for clairescence, so that's psychic smell, or if I'm just overthinking things. If you could let me know what you think and help bring some clearance to my mind, that would be greatly appreciated. Thanks. Okie dokie. Firstly, to this human, thank you so much for researching yourself so thoroughly. This is awesome. This is the work that I think every human needs to do. Because if we can start to parcel ourselves out and start to parcel out like, oh yeah, okay, this is what I'm experiencing, and when, and how, and with whom, and in what instances, and at what times of the day, and where in my body, and etc., so on and so forth. That's when we can really hone in on how we're experiencing life through every angle, through every lens, right? Psychically, emotionally, mentally, physically. And this doesn't only go for psychic senses. This also goes for everything else. Like, are there certain places that make you sad? Are there certain people who you're around who make you anxious? You know, when we start to really hone in on every aspect of ourselves and really research ourselves and the patternings of our beings as a whole, I'm seeing my partner nodding and smiling at this. When we can really do that, that's what makes us wholly able to relate to other people on a level that's really healthy. And especially when everybody else is doing that too. So yeah, because like when, I mean, I say this all the time, right? Know thyself to grow thyself. And when we know ourselves and other people know themselves. Thank you, I love you. Oh goodness, this is a moment in time. When we thoroughly know ourselves and other people thoroughly know themselves, that's when we can grow as individuals and then grow together because of that. And it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. So I just wanted to address that first. I want to really highlight, and this is part of the reason why I wanted to read this whole story. And so this is more for you guys than for this person who is asking the question. But I want to highlight, you know, this person really took the time to say, okay, this only happens on screens, right? Okay, is this happening in person with other people? Is it only happening on screens? Is it happening, you know, etc.? So this person really took the time to do that, and that was important. Then this person took the time to understand, I smell good smells when the person's energy is something that really jives with me, something that I feel is really good, right? Then they took the time to say, oh, I smell bad smells when somebody is kind of in like maybe a lower vibration. Then they took the time to say, okay, well, is this only like on social media, and how am I interacting with this and swiping back and forth between pages? These are the exercises we can do with ourselves that can really, really help us grow on so many levels. So that's what I want to say to that. In terms of answering this person's question, 150%. This is about as psychic scent as it gets. This is clairolfaction or clairescence. Both are the same thing, two different words for the same thing. Yeah, basically is as strong as it gets. What I'm sensing is that this person was confused about this because it's only happening on screens. And I think we have this misconception that psychic abilities are pervasive. And so if we have a specific psychic ability, that it's going to be something that's interacting with us all the time on a constant basis. And that's not necessarily the case. That is, and actually I would argue most of the time it's not the case. Most of the time we have certain psychic abilities that act up at certain times of the day, or in certain instances, or with certain people, or et cetera, so on and so forth. And so yeah, it sounds, oh no, I am paused. Okay, we're good. We're good. I thought I was gonna lose y'all on Instagram there for a minute. It said I had poor connection, but here we are. All is good. All is well. So yes. Yeah, so it sounds like this person has really parceled this down to understand I smell this only through screens. I smell this only when I'm interacting with the actual person through that screen. And I smell good smells when I'm driving with the person, and I smell bad smells when I'm not. And it sounds like that's really cueing this person's body. When I say body, I'm talking about their whole being. This is really cueing this person's body into, okay, this is a good thing for me to interact with, this is a healthy thing for me to interact with, or get the hell away, right? And especially in those instances where this person says the smell is so bad and comes through so strong, I have to hold my breath because it smells so bad to breathe it in. Like, that's your body tipping you off to, like, don't go there. So I appreciate that you went there to this person. I appreciate that you went there when you needed to, in order to do this research. But I'm going to go ahead and say it's probably no longer necessary. Like, you can stop interacting with those pages at this point. It's probably not serving you. So yeah, I hope that that's helpful to this person, and I hope that that's helpful to everybody else. And I want to just give this person a shout out and a thank you again for doing the work, and also for being an example that is now helping probably several people who are watching right now. Hey Becky, thanks for being here. I appreciate you. All right, taking a break to check comments on Facebook. I'm seeing 2 viewers here. Hi loves, so good to see you. I'm sorry I can't see your names to shout you out and say hi, but I trust that you're there and I say hello. All right, we have one more anonymous question that came through this month. Love reading your blogs. This was a great question, actually. This was really interesting. Love reading your blogs, especially the portal days. That's really how I found your work. One email spoke about Lionsgate and the star that is activated. Every astrology outlet was talking about Sirius, how it was connected. However, you piqued my curiosity in an email when you said they were wrong. So my question is for the Lionsgate portal. What star were you talking about that is activated by this astrology event, and why do people get it wrong? If you could talk more about it, if you can, that would be great. So this is real cool. Okay, I'm gonna take a moment again and just like do some clearing. Feeling lots of high energy right now. Yeah, awesome. Thanks, guys. All right, so firstly, I hear a couple of people on the other end of the screen asking, what is Lionsgate? So Lionsgate happened almost exactly 2 weeks ago. So Lionsgate is the 8/8 portal, August 8th. every year. Um, this year it happens to fall on the same day as the new moon, which like everybody was going nuts over. And yeah, Nicole is saying definitely wondering what Lionsgate is. Yeah, I got you. So okay, so I'm gonna start by telling you what everybody else says it is, and then we'll go into like what it actually is. Um, and I have to say, like, I am not an expert on this by any means. If you want to learn more about what's known as kind of like the false Lionsgate portal, I definitely want to invite you to check out at Cosmic Space Witch on Instagram. Allie has put out a ton of information on that. And so has, I always talk about Sam at find me _ in the stars. Sam Lauer puts out a lot of stuff on that as well. So yeah, okay. So basically, the Lionsgate portal is in society's eyes, right? And kind of what many of you probably have seen online and in posts and all of this stuff, especially like this year, it was really, really rampant. So what people say that the Lionsgate is, they say that it's the alignment of the star Sirius, which is known as our spiritual sun, with our actual physical sun. And the idea is when a stargate is formed, right? A stargate is when our sun meets up with a star in the sky, and then that star behind it is able to infiltrate our Earth through the rays of the sun. So it's like the light shining behind the light. Oh, that's really cool looking on Instagram. It's like, y'all on Facebook can't see this, but like this hand goes away and kind of like it comes in through the light. So it legitimately looks that way. That was a cool moment in time. But I kind of love these light codes and energy. So that's the idea, that's the concept. And so people have been saying for years and years that our spiritual sun Sirius, that star, it's the brightest star in the sky, is matching up with the sun and then infiltrating its light codes down, and it's supposed to be this huge deal that's happening on the 8/8 portal, because of course 8/8 is numerologically a master number, right? Okay, so let's talk about now why this is false. Firstly, let's just look at this from a logical perspective in terms of how can a star alignment happen on the exact same day of a Roman calendar year that we made up? Like, that's not possible. Our own sun doesn't even do that, right? Like, our own sun shifts, like our solstices and equinoxes vary from year to year. Like, it doesn't, like, between, like, the 20th and the 22nd or something like that for each one, you know? So that's always different. So why would this alignment happen exactly on the 8/8 portal every single year? So that logically is just, it doesn't make any sense. There's that. Secondly, if we look at an actual map of the astronomy of the sky at that exact moment, Sirius is nowhere near where our sun is in the sky. Nowhere near it. And actually, the Sirian Stargate happens an entire month earlier. So some of you saw me go live and talk about it this year and last year, and I think the year before as well, when the Sirian Stargate actually happened, which usually takes place sometime between like the 3rd and the 10th-ish of July. So that's an entire month beforehand. What is happening at like around August 8th is what's known as the heliacal rising of Sirius. So there is that connection there. A heliacal rising is when a star is coming over the horizon. So it's when it's rising above the horizon. And so this is the first time that we actually do see Sirius starting to rise above the horizon, like in the dusk hours, essentially. So there is that correlation. There is still that Sirian energy that's happening, but it's definitely not behind our sun. So because of this, there are a lot of conspiracy theories around this idea of a false Lionsgate. And um, Allie and Sam definitely take it to a large extreme, much larger an extreme than I take it to. I still find their content around it to be really interesting and very informative, and so I do suggest going to check it out just to get a different perspective. But they definitely do, and especially Cosmic Space Witch, Allie talks a lot of conspiracy around like basically like government infiltrations and like the fact that like the 8-8 portal was chosen to basically like help the spiritual community come into this lens of bringing energy through to basically like feed a system um that's essentially like vamping all of this, doing like psychic vampire stuff around all of this energy. So it's basically like this idea that like the government or higher forces that are like in darker negative spheres has created this event for a bunch of light workers to raise energy so that they can then take that energy and utilize it in their endeavors. There's a part of me that believes that because I do know it is possible. There's also a part of me that's like, wow, that's pretty far-fetched, so I don't know about that. So I don't know. It's all about using your discernment. Either way, 8-8 is to me still the Lionsgate. And it does, it is still a numerological portal. It's happening right in the middle of Leo's season, which makes sense as to why it's the Lionsgate. I've never understood the correlation with Sirius there in terms of like Sirius is the dog star, right? It's the brightest star in the constellation that is a dog. So like, why is that associated with a large feral cat? Like that makes no sense to me. So like maybe like Lyra or something. I don't know, but like definitely not Sirius. So that's always kind of boggled my mind. But yeah, that association with Leo season, and especially, this year we had that new moon that fell on the Lionsgate portal, and the new moon in 12 sign astrology was in the constellation of Leo, and so there, definitely a Lionsgate there. The numbers 8-8, the number 8 itself, if we look at it, it is, it's a figure 8, it's an infinity sign. And so it symbolizes infinite energy. It also symbolizes the energy going up and coming down and going up and coming down. And so I really look at it as like an as below, so above type thing. So that energy is just integrating all around, which is like really just a cool energy to work with. So there's that. It's really because of that wonderful energy for manifesting and for bringing things from our spirit realm, from the world of energy into the physical, and like really anchoring things down. Fantastic day for sound healing, energy work, channeling, just healing work in general, meditation, just like all of those things. And I stand by that every year because of that numerological energy that's there. In this person's question, they asked what specific star the sun aligns with, and my answer for that is it depends on the year, because again, it's not going to be the same every year. I can tell you, this person specifically stated in their question, I didn't read this part because it was a little bit more story that wasn't necessarily relevant to the collective, but they mentioned also in their question to me that they fell in love with the Lionsgate portal specifically last year, in 2020. And I can tell you, I looked up the star alignment last year, and on 8-8 specifically, it was aligned with Altair, which is it's actually, this is so wild, it's actually the star in the constellation Leo that is the eye of the lion. And so that was some really wild energy of like, literally, this was a Lionsgate portal. Like we were getting the codes from the eye of the lion, like on Lionsgate. Where it aligned this year was actually right at the end of Cancer. And I'm not sure exactly what specific star it was aligned with. I tried to look that up, and it was really hard to find this year, so I unfortunately could not figure that out this year, but yeah, every single year it shifts because space does not match our human concept of time. It's just not. It's ever growing, ever expanding, and also it just doesn't always match up. So yeah, I'm sorry I couldn't give you a more concrete answer for that, but I would really encourage you, this person and anybody else who's watching who's interested, to do your own research on that, and to also go within and see how it all feels to you, and to also yeah, just yeah. And I think every year, yeah, it's been cool for me too to like research every year, like where is this aligning, like what star is this aligning with. It does really, it's almost a good grounding practice for me to be like, oh, okay, let's check in with the sky right now, let's check in with where we actually are at. So it's been a really big gift in that way and in that sense. I'm seeing a question from Nicole. What are your thoughts on those of us trying to hold light for ourselves and others experiencing massive detox reactions over the past 2 to 3 months? I've been told it's due to upgrading spiritually. I need to reread this, and I need water. Okay. I need to sit with this for a moment. I think I want more clarification on this. Yeah, if you could give me more. I'm curious what you mean by trying to hold light. Like, are you speaking specifically to like holding healing, or I'm also seeing an anonymous question coming in here. Yeah, Tehila, I'm gonna let that pass, but thank you so much for that. I just don't think that that's relevant today. I have love for you too. I'm just gonna give a moment for Nicole to give us a little bit more info here. Speaking truth and holding healing. Yeah. Whew. Okay. All right. Let's just. Woo! I'm just gonna clear. Whew. Yeah. There is some massive shifting going on in our collective right now. I don't need to speak that for you guys to know that. Y'all know that. The collective knows that, right? They don't even need to know. They don't even need to know energy in order to know that. I think it's pretty obvious. There's more. Let's see. I'm seeing it amongst my empath healer friends and myself, which I'm both. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I'm seeing it too. I'm experiencing it too. I'm holding space for my clients as they're going through this too. Okay, so I have two thoughts on this. This is a great question, Nicole. Thank you so much for this. So, okay, so I have two main thoughts on this. Thought one is, I want you to check in with yourself and see if what you're holding is necessary. Is this extra weight on your shoulders something that is necessary for you to hold? Because you could, in that instance, be doing more of a disservice than an actual help. I'm going to go ahead and give an example. And this actually, so this came up in door openers the other night. And obviously I'm going to keep everything anonymous, but I do think that this is a bit of a discussion that's important to kind of bring to the collective. There was a lot of mom talk going on the other night, which I really appreciate and enjoy. And so there was an empath mother who was talking about holding on to her child's sadness. Her child is going through a lot right now. And so she keeps taking it on. She keeps taking on his sadness, his depression, and she thinks that she's helping him in this way. And so this opened up a really beautiful discussion within our group, where some of the other mothers were able to speak to either similar feelings or speak to their ability to let go of the need to do that for their children, and how much they've seen the growth in their children because of that. I am not a mother to anybody but myself, but I do have a relationship with my mom that has been really, really close and also really complex over the years. And what I've noticed is that in the last several years, as she's been doing her own healing and I've been doing my own healing, and we've been therefore healing our relationship, she's let go of the reins on needing to take my stuff on as her own. And because of that, I've become more empowered. And I noticed as well the mothers in the group talking about this from their ends, they've been able to become more empowered by letting their children hold their own stuff. And so I want to take that. The reason I'm bringing this here specifically is because I want to take that and expand that out into the collective, right? If we take this piece and we make it about the entire collective, if we are holding on to the collective's problems, are we empowering the collective? No, we're not. The collective needs to move through what it needs to move through. And are we empowering ourselves? No, we're bogging ourselves down. We're putting extra weight on our shoulders that we don't need to be holding and carrying. It's not our job. Your job is to be in your own sovereign energy, to hold your frequency, to do your own work, to do your own shadow work. It is not your job. I feel some of you getting triggered by this. I'm holding space for you. I feel some of you resonating really deeply with this and feeling a lot of vulnerable emotions around this. I'm holding space for you and with you. Thank you for looking deep inside yourself right now. Thank you for being truthful with yourself right now. Oftentimes, too, when we're trying to hold on to things from other people, it's because we're trying to find control somewhere. And we've been taught societally that the only way we can gain control is by controlling things outside of ourselves, which is the exact opposite. If you're looking to control something outside of yourself, it's because you're looking to control something in here. I cannot emphasize that enough. So I want to ask you, if you are holding on to things that are unnecessary for you to hold on to for the collective, what are you needing in here? What are you needing to shift? What are you seeking control over out there? And there's so much to want control over out there right now. There's so much to want control over out there right now. What do you need to do to control? Not me. I don't want to point to me. What do you need to control this, right? What do you need to do to control yourself? And feel control within yourself so that you can stand strong, so that you can stand proud and tall and walk into the collective as a freaking force of nature. Because you are one if you choose to be. All right, I'm seeing other comments. And then I want to speak to the second part that I was going to say. Yeah, Nicole says, I'm actually closing my wellness practice for now because all my guidance has led me to needing to do this. Thank you so much for listening to that. Thank you for listening to yourself on that. Thank you for listening to your spirit on that, to your guidance team, whomever. There are so many practitioners I know that in the last year or so, year and a half, have decided to close their practices. And this is because it's, I'm going to take my glasses off for this one. There's big stuff here, you guys. There's really big stuff here. We as practitioners and as space holders are being asked to step up. We are being asked to step out of the societal paradigms of what we are supposed to look like as practitioners or as a business owner or as a business in general. Like, is your yoga practice marketable? Or is your retreat going to hit your niche market or whatever? No. That doesn't fly here anymore. That flies in the old world. That flies in pre-COVID because that's all we knew. I have spoken to this before, that I had my, quote, quarantine well before COVID happened. I kind of hid away in my little cave. Spirit told me, yes, keep your business open, but yes, only see one client right now. One client. No more than one client. I was like, okay, how is this going to work? How am I going to pay my bills? I don't know how this is going to happen. It happened. It happened. I was 150% completely held by the universe because it's exactly what needed to happen. It's exactly what I needed to do. And I trust that for every single one of you, because I sense there's more than one of you right now watching this. Actually, I know for sure there are more than one of you watching this who are in this position of needing to close your practice as a spiritual business owner, as a healer, or as, whatever. You are held. And this is part of it. This is part of it, is letting go of all of your clients, letting go of your business, perhaps completely bursting it into flames. I know for sure someone who's watching this totally disintegrated their business. Gone. Got rid of the name, got rid of the Instagram, totally gone. And they're starting over from scratch. And not just yet. It's all brewing. Why? Because we're needing to step up. And we're needing to go within so that we can really understand what we're here to do, to truly hold space without. That's what's going on. Hey Doug, thanks for being here. Nicole says, as a mom, I needed to hear this. Thank you so much. You're so welcome. And you say, I'm in tears listening to you right now. I know, this is so hard. This is so hard. I said before, I'm not a mom, except to myself. That's not the entire truth. I am a mom to my business. I am a parent of my business. I birthed. Y'all have seen it. Y'all have watched it over the last almost 5 years. Which I can't believe I'm saying. But you've witnessed it. This is my baby. And I cannot even imagine liquidating it. I cannot even imagine what it would be like to let that go. That is the highest form of surrender. I want to be careful in saying that. I'm not telling you to let your children go. I already hear somebody misconstruing what I'm saying right now. Don't let your children go. This is not what I'm saying. That's high spiritual surrender to let your child go. No, that's abandonment. Please don't misconstrue my words right now. But yeah, if you're asked to let something that is this entirely precious to you go for the greater good, that's major surrender. And so, Nicole, and anybody else who's watching this who's in the same position, yeah. Cheers to you. Cheers to you trusting. That's major trust that's happening. Okay. Rewind. I'm gonna answer this question from another angle. This is part 2. I'm also going to plug in my laptop, which I forgot to do at the beginning because I am running low on battery. There we go. Okay. Okay. I'm going to flip back to the question again so that I can, Okay. What are your thoughts on those of us trying to hold light for ourselves and others experiencing massive detox reactions over the past 2 to 3 months? I've been told it's due to upgrading spiritually. The holding light is speaking truth and holding healing, seeing it amongst empath healer friends and myself. Okay. So, part 1, what are you holding on to that you don't need to? Why are you holding on to things that are not yours? Yeah. So that was part 1 that I addressed. Part 2 that I'm going to address is that many of us as healers are being asked to hold that right now. And it's not holding as in holding onto. It's not holding as in taking it on as our own. It's holding as in holding space for it. And that is totally a different thing. Totally a different thing. And I see that this is also part of the reason why so many practitioners like yourself, Nicole, are being asked to step down from their businesses. And do self-work and really focus within, because we are holding so freaking much for the collective right now. It's unreal. And so I just, I'm so grateful to you. I'm so grateful to every single one of you. And chances are every one of you who's watching this falls into this category as somebody who is holding space for the collective right now. You don't have to take it on as your own. You are being asked to witness it and hold space for it. And you know what else? If that's not working for your mental health, if that's bringing on depression or anxiety or throwing you into tailspins, mania, schizoid episodes, whatever it is, if that's throwing you into stuff, tune out and tune off. Do what you need to do for your mental health. Go camp out in the woods for a month. Be away from your screens. Be away from your phones. Be away from social media. Like, do what you need to take care of yourself. And because this is energy, of course, you're still going to be feeling it, right? But you always also have the option of saying, I don't want to feel this. I don't want to hold this. Universe, please take this from me. Universe, please. There are so many people in our collective right now who are able to hold space, who are healthy enough to hold space, who are in a place to hold space for the collective. Please give this to them. I am not in a place right now. I need to focus on myself right now. But then you need to stay good on that promise. You need to work on yourself at that moment. If you know that you are not in a space to hold space for other people, boom, it's time to hold space for yourself, baby. Yeah. Seeing lots of hearts on that. Yeah. Okay, there's one more piece that's wanting to be spoken to in relation to that specifically, and it's coming in images and energy. So I'm going to do my very, 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 very best to put words to it. I spoke to this. This is funny. So the full moon in Aquarius is tomorrow. It is our second full moon, at least in 12 sign astrology. It is our second full moon in a row in Aquarius, which makes it a blue moon in Aquarius. Those of you who caught my live with Brooke last night know about this. If you want to watch the replay of that, it's on her page at MTQBWY. May the courts be with you. So you can go check that out. I highly suggest it. Highly recommend it. It was so good. I'm just like lighting up thinking about it again. But yeah. So the reason I bring this up is because this message is still so pervasive from last month. I want to encourage you to go read, if you haven't already, last month's full moon article that I put out. You can find it at doorwaytoself.com/blog. For those of you on Instagram, it is in the link in my bio. Actually, the newest article is in the link in my bio, but you can click back to the full blog page and find it from there. It is in the featured tab as well. For those of you on Facebook, doorwaytoself.com/blog. And you'll find it there. It's the Aquarius full moon from last month. So it's 3 articles ago, if you include the one I put out yesterday. Sip. So in that article, specifically, I talked about the information that I received as a child in my meditations, where I was told that we are here for a spiritual war and that we are going to be fighting it. And this is it. This is what it looks like. This is what it looks like. Is holding all of the light and shining it out. This is a spiritual war. We as healers, as practitioners, as empaths, as clairsentients, as whatever, we are being asked to find our light within and shine it without. The collective, as water, is then reflecting that light on its surface. The more that we shine our light, the more that the collective as water can absorb it and shine it back. So that's a lot of what we're being asked to do. It's not heavy lifting. If it is heavy lifting for you, you shouldn't be doing it. If it is heavy lifting for you, it means you haven't fully connected inside just yet. So again, I want to urge you, go inside, find yourself, find your light, do your work. Maybe that means doing that by yourself. Maybe that means doing it in the woods. Maybe it means doing it in the hands of a practitioner or 10. When I went through my quote unquote quarantine period before COVID, I was working with my mentor that I talk about all the time, Chloe. She was so fantastic, and I never would have gotten through it without her. There's no way I possibly would have gotten through it without her. And in the last 2 to 3 month period, I finished up my work with her. I worked with Astara um, of Laughing Goddess, who completely changed my life as well. And I now have two other mentors who I'm working with, who are holding space for me and with me, that I am so grateful for. And I will, of course, release their names when I am done with my container with them. But right now, it just needs to stay sacred to us. As y'all know, I'm very, very intentional about that, of keeping my containers for myself private until they're closed, or until I feel like I'm at a point where like I just don't care about the collective knowing about it. And I do that for my own protection, for their protection, and for the protection of our space. But yeah, all of that to say, this is clearly a message somebody's needing to hear right now. All of that to say, if you need space held for you, listen to that. And if you don't think you have the finances for it, you do. I promise you that. I absolutely promise you that. I can tell you the mentors I'm currently working with, it was a lot of money. It was a lot of money that I did not have in my bank account. Didn't have it. The moment I committed to working with them, I made the exact amount I needed for a down payment within 2 hours a week later. This is the magic that happens when we live in flow with the universe. Yeah. So, all of that to say, please trust. This is not a plug for myself. I didn't do that intentionally, but if you do want to work with me, there are spaces available, like right now. I'm just wrapping up with a couple of journey people, and with I just wrapped up with one apprenticeship person who's like freaking remarkable. I'm so excited for her to start working with people. Oh my God, she's so powerful. So yeah, that's something to consider. Yeah, that's what I want to say. Nicole says, this is everything I needed to hear right now. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Thank you so much for being vulnerable and sharing all of this and asking, and yeah, this is amazing. All right, my loves. So we've got a couple of minutes left now. I want to just take a moment to highlight the events of the last evening. Oh my gosh. Okay, so for those of y'all who were not there, I teamed up with Brooke Rosenblum of May the Courts Be With You. She and I have been working in collaboration since February of this year, since actually right after the Aquarius new moon and like that huge stellium that happened in Aquarius. I mean, just like so much Aquarius alignment, you guys. It's unreal. So the Unity Potion, this guy, which actually has the old label on it. So this is the OG Unity. But it now has like a really cool, like pretty rainbow label that I don't have because Brooke has them. Yeah, this precious package was created on the winter solstice of last year. And it happened during the grand conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter in Aquarius. And so there's just like all of that energy in here, and a lot of people, myself included, note that as the time of the dawning of the age of Aquarius. So those of you who have heard me talking about the age of Aquarius, or heard other people, basically it's this idea of this new age that's helping to usher in the new earth and helping to usher in basically all of us moving into a 5D capacity. 5D being where the energy world and the physical world are realized as one, integrated within our entire beings. I'm seeing my partner nodding to this in the background. He and I talk about this quite a bit. Yes, this is helping to unify that. Yeah. this is helping to unify the within, unify the physical and the energetic, because they are one and the same. We just have to recognize that. Unify the within, and then unify the without. When I channeled this through, Spirit told me, great, this is the first potion you've made that, or channeled through, that now has to have an accompanying scent. And I was like, what? I don't work with oils. What is this? Well, that's when dear Brooke, her face just like came into my mind with like all of these beautiful lights and rainbows around it. And I was like, Brooke. And then, yeah, so I contacted her and asked her if she was wanting to collaborate. And she was like, oh my God, yes. And so we've been working on this since February. I don't have the actual like bottle with the label, but because again she has that, but y'all can see like this is how much I have used of this oil already, like but like so much has happened since I started like with both of these, with like the duo together, right? Because again, as within, drop this within, so without, put this on without. It really is that like that package that comes together. And so it's just like unreal. Like since I started working with these tools, like I have called into my life so many collaborations, so much soul family, like even deeper integrations with the family, soul family, and biological family that was already in my life. Also in this time was when my twin flame and I found out that we were twin flames. I also called in these mentors that I spoke to, who I've actually been looking at working with for like 2 years now. That happened. I called in my beautiful partner who's sitting behind the screen right now. He's giving a wave, and just like and the most spectacular freaking clients, you guys, like just like, oh, y'all are working just like out of this world, literally out of this world, and then into this world. And so I'm so grateful for everything that these have brought into my life. And all I want to do is be able to continue to give that gift that I have been receiving, and give y'all the opportunity to be able to receive that gift as well. And I know that Brooke is on that same page. So if you want to learn more about the Unity Potion, we're calling the whole thing together the potion. We've got the Elixir, which is the dropper bottle, and then the oil. That whole thing is the potion. And actually there are a couple, there's a drop of the potion in each roller bottle as well. So if you want to learn more about like what it smells like, or what went into it, or the process, or the really cool synchronistic stories that are behind it and all of that, you can definitely go check out the replay of our live from last night, again, at MTQBWY. I also posted the replay to my story on Instagram, so you can check that out. It is on Instagram. Sorry, Facebook, I did not specify that. It is on Instagram, so definitely go check that out. And you can also order it through the link in my bio on Instagram. And also I'm going to, I think I put it in the description. Yeah, I put it in the description here on Facebook for this video. So it's right at the very bottom, and you can just click that link and you can get either the bundle or the individual bottles separately. If you buy the bundle or the oil, it also comes with a peacock ore, which is just like a really cool stone. Those of you who don't know Brooke, she is the crystal frickin' queen. Like she just like, oh my gosh, like she like that's a lot of what she does is she helps to give crystals homes in the collective. And so yeah, I know she has like individually chosen, and she's going to also, just like for everybody who purchases a bundle or an oil, like she will individually like go within herself and be like, which stone is for this person, and like put it in the package. So yeah, that's what I wanted to speak to. And looks like we're at about time. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. Oh my gosh, such dense questions today, y'all. I really appreciate this. And I just like, I again want to highlight, Thank you, 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 thank you. Thank you for doing all of the work that you're doing in the collective and in yourself and for everybody else. Because the more that you work on yourself, the more that you are working for the collective. It as within, so without. Yeah. Unity, unity. So yeah, just thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for doing the work. Thank you for researching yourself. Thank you for researching humanity. Thank you for holding space for yourself and others. Thank you for being love. Thank you for being the love that you freaking are. And thank you for sitting in this community space with me and with each other and being supports to each other. Because we need that now more than ever. So yeah, if you aren't already, please find and follow me, Facebook folks, on Instagram at Doorway to Self. If you aren't already, Instagram folks, please find me on Facebook under Doorway to Self. You can also follow at the Doorway to Self podcast and at rachel.leah.gerson on Instagram, and the former on Facebook as well. If you would like to follow the podcast page or my personal journey, you're welcome to do that. And be sure to check out the Doorway to Self podcast as well. I just published an episode on Thursday that's all about fitting in and societal norms and how that has an effect on our mental health, and why actually everybody's not normal. Like literally everybody is normal divergent, as I called it. So there is that. Also, I will be posting the replay of this on YouTube. So if you want to go give that a look in a couple of days, I'll be posting, of course, the replay will be available on Instagram and Facebook as well, but on YouTube, I will be putting the questions with timestamps so that if there's a question that you want to go back to easily, you'll be able to just like go back and check that out in a flash. So yeah, and like I said as well, if you want to work with me, I do have some openings right now, so you can find that through the link in my bio on Instagram. On Facebook, you can go to doorwaytoself.com and just click on the offerings button. So that's about all. I am sending so much love, every single one of you. I'm just like, I'm overwhelmed with gratitude right now. Like my heart is so full. So thank you for lighting yourselves up and helping to light up my life. And I'm gonna stop saying thank you at this point, because that's gonna just be another hour of gushing. And I love you, and I hope that you have a beautiful rest of your Saturday. I hope this has been helpful to you, and yeah, take care. Bye for now.